Yo, this is Jay from Straight Smoke Gaming, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the Aaron Rodgers and Zack Wilson situation. As you guys know, Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles. He's done for the year. So this video is going to mainly be based on if Zack Wilson can save the Jets. I'm going to sim the rest of the season with Zack Wilson as the quarterback, and we're going to see how good the Jets do, if they make playoffs, pretty much just to see where the range is, to see how much of a difference this will make. I think it'll make a little bit of one, but the Jets, they still have a good team. They got a good defense, good run game. They got a top receiver. They got a good head coach. I don't see why they are not a playoff team. They just beat the Bills. I mean, they beat the Bills without Aaron Rodgers. Zack Wilson played most of that game, so I really don't see why the Jets can't be a playoff team, and I don't see why they can't make a playoff run. I mean, that team's only going to get better. The young players are only going to get better as well. So when you're talking about this, like I was saying, Aaron Rodgers did suffer his torn Achilles. And, he only played 4 snaps. So like I was saying before, Zack Wilson pretty much beat the Bills by himself. When it comes to the negatives, I mean, Aaron Rodgers, he's a good quarterback. He's better than Zack Wilson, obviously. In Madden, you're going to go down from an 86 to a 69 overall at your quarterback position. That sucks. But when it comes to the positives, from a management standpoint, they saved their first-round pick because he's not going to meet the minimum snap requirement that was put in the trade, depending on what pick the Packers get. Another thing is, with Zack Wilson, I do feel like you're going to have a little bit more mobility at your quarterback position. I mean, Zack Wilson's younger. He moves around better. So the Jets line, it's okay. It's not good by any means. So when you have a guy that can move around and get out of the pocket, possibly break sacks, that's going to be a little bit more beneficial to you just because you're not going to be as flat-footed. You're going to be able to break out and extend plays. Now, let's go ahead and sim to the midway point like we did. They're not off to a good start. Only 1-5. That's gonna be last in the AFC East. And, I mean, yeah, I'm not going to say that they're done because they still have the whole other half of the season. And if you take a look here, other than the Bills, which is going to be very hard for them to catch to win the division, but, they could easily catch the Dolphins with 3 wins. They could easily catch the Patriots with 4 wins. So based on the sim, even though the Jets had a bad start, they're still very much in conversations to win second in the division and possibly become a wild card. So now let's go ahead and take a look at his stats. And midway point, Zack Wilson, he obviously needs to play better. Passing yards, he's only got 1,060. Touchdowns, 5. Interceptions, 9. That is not good. You cannot have more interceptions than touchdowns, especially if you want to win in the NFL and be a good quarterback. So that automatically needs corrected. Completion percentage is only 57. You like for that to be in the 60s, preferably like around the 65 range. So that's got to get better. He's got to get better connecting with his wide receivers. Now, I don't know if that's drop passes or just bad throws. Probably a little bit of both. And when it comes to yards per game, he's only averaging, if you round up there, 177 yards. That is an issue, especially when you have someone like Garrett Wilson on the outside. Garrett Wilson is a top receiver in the game. You got to get him the ball, especially if you want to win. You got a good run game. A good run game gets complemented with a good passing game. So now Zack Wilson's got to get the ball to Garrett Wilson if they want to win. Now, at the end of the season here, they did not do good. They went 3-14, still last in the division. Obviously not going to make playoffs. We're not even going to worry about viewing the playoff bracket. And, when you're looking at this based on the team rankings, this team was bad. It seems like as soon as Rodgers went down, this team gave up and they went down as well. When you're taking a look here, they were bottom 5 in all offensive categories. Now, I thought the offense would regress. I did not think they would be bottom 5. So that caught me a little bit off guard. And when you're taking a look at the defense, they were bottom 5 in 2 of the 3 categories, which I did not see at all. I view this defense as one of the better defenses in football. So I don't understand why this defense was as bad as it says it was. I don't know if they suffered injuries along the way later in the season as well. But if they're going to be good, that defense needs to show up. The defense is going to have to make up for the offensive struggles, especially with Zack Wilson. And there is going to be offensive struggles. Zack Wilson is not Aaron Rodgers. That's not what I'm saying at all in this video. When it comes to Zack Wilson's stats, he finished with more interceptions than touchdowns. That is a big no-no. That explains a lot of the reasoning for their 3-14 record to me. You cannot win. You could not be a good team, a good quarterback, whatever. You cannot win in this league with more interceptions than touchdowns. His completion percentage was only at that 60 mark, so I guess that's better. But like I was saying, you're aiming for that 65 mark, or at least in my opinion, that's what I would be aiming for. For the low yards, you gotta have more than 4,000 yards passing, especially when you are not a mobile quarterback. If you are a Lamar Jackson, a Jalen Hurts, who can run, then it's okay because you're contributing on the ground. Zack Wilson's more of a guy that can try to extend plays for you. He's not going to rush for 1,000 yards or 800 yards. And the low yards per game, that also is going to become an issue. I mean, if you're taking a look at it, you got Garrett Wilson. You got to get him the ball. You got good weapons out of the backfield too, with Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook. You got Lazard. You got McCall Harbin. There is a lot of names on this team that could easily help Zack Wilson be a lot better of a quarterback this year. So I think that this team should be better than what the sim says. But that's all in regards to the sim. I think the defense is good enough to help carry them. They got a good running game, got a good head coach, and Garrett Wilson alone should help the New York Jets, my bad. But if you are one of the people that do not think this team will be good, go ahead and comment that down below. I want to know what you guys think. I think they will be just fine with Zack Wilson. But that's all we got in this video. So if you enjoyed, please remember to like and sub for more Madden, GTA, and Red Dead content. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.